नेक्स्ट मैच में सुधार करने की कोशिश करने वाला था रुया। नेक्स्ट मैच में सुधार करने की कोशिश करने वाला था रुया। नेक्स्ट मैच में सुधार करने की कोशिश करने वाला था रुया। नेक्स्ट मैच में सुधार करने की कोशिश करने वाला था रुया।
Saw the first light, the first steps. Now I see much more. I capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration. And the first steps. I am the 1+9. Homes are now where we work, learn, and, play? Oops. Homes are where we build spaces loud to call our own. Power on and beyond with Singapore's most trusted broadband.
Welcome back, everyone, here to PMGC. Get this, guys. We're past the halfway point of the entire event now.
You can't see me right now, but I'm dancing.
Hey, wait for you. What are you doing? Stop it. No. Yeah, trying not to do it, but still did.
I knew you were going to ask me. I was just waiting.
Okay, well, I'm not going to ask anymore. You just ruined it for me.
I'm sorry, Jason.
A whole bunch of damage, though. I mean, order. Again, this isn't the first time we've seen him step up like this. Thinking back to league stage, he was definitely the number 2 behind Pairboy. He was an integral part in Nova getting as far as they have been so far in this year, and it's amazing to see, right? Because I'm so happy, and obviously it's not against Pairboy, but I don't want to only talk about Pairboy day in and day out. The fact is, he's got a great
Frozen with 15, right? He's done about half of that now with the one single game hit, getting 8 eliminations out of the 9 eliminations total for his team. I mean, I think those eliminations alone might put him first in terms of that race to MVP. I mentioned it earlier, right? But it's good to see that the entire team is doing well, because I had that fear coming out of the East League where Paraboy might be doing the same.
With Elims, I actually kind of wanted to break down some of the teams in regards to Elims. I mean, we have Navi now. Navi has 51 Elims. They're currently leading in regards to that. But then the third place team, Enigma Galaxy, they only have 27. DX only 27, and then the Infinity as well only has 26. And then when you go even one more down, then you have ST with 38. I would like to see those three teams, Enigma, Galaxy, DX, and the Infinity, step it up in regards when it comes to Elims. One player that did step it up there in the last match that we were able to see was Frankie, being able to gather 5 Elims. I think that's huge. Hopefully they can continue on that trend.
Xavier is your team to watch here in this match?
What we've been asking for the longest time. I would love to continue to see this consistency, and I would love even more if they can just continue to get those.
Nova be so damn consistent in this event so far. If Navi want to have a chance to close that gap and catch up to them and ideally pass them, they have to remain as consistent as they've been so far in the day. They need to continue to do so every single match, and obviously we're going to find out if they can.
We talked about no mistakes, right? You can't have any mistakes, man. I'm sorry, man.
I get it. It's okay. I feel like I'm not taking Navi too here, actually, because there were first of all like maybe 30 seconds that game at one point in their rankings. It got close, but I'm going to have to go with another team here, and it's Infinity. You mentioned them as they are lacking currently in terms of eliminations. They've had some good moments right now, some little sparks of greatness throughout these few games today, but it's just not been enough to get close to that late game. I hope this might be the one, because Infinity need to get back in the swing of things this game.
I think the thing is, for me, looking at East, right, going into this, if I get ripped on this a little bit, I thought it was going to become easier for some of these teams with some West teams coming in. I mean, if we just look at like raw mechanical skills, to be fair, 7th backs me up on this, talking about, you know, like peaking, right? You can peak a lot longer in West than you can in East. But we're not seeing, you know, like Stalwart Esports with their top fraggers. We're not seeing Newsy up there, and God tell you, like Newsy's gone out early a couple of times. We're not seeing them be as dominant as they were in terms of eliminations as they were in the East League. And I don't know if it's just the change up in the lobby, maybe change up in styles or what, but if they could hit that previous performance we've seen, we're easily going to see these teams shoot up the rankings.
I'm 100% with you on that one too, and I think it was a sentiment that was shared by the community for the longest time, that maybe this West teams coming in now fighting against the East teams, we're going to make it easier for them, that we're going to be able to gather easier elims. That is not the case. I mean, even regards East or West, let's talk about the Indian team, Godlike. That team now starting to step it up. They're not anymore in last place. We do have Fernabache there. Hopefully they can step it up. Boy, this is just such a big disappointment, but I 100% agree with you. And I mean, for us to have next Ruya at 1 point as first place, I thought that was huge for the West.
You can talk about that.
I can go on, that's actually insane. No, I agree. It's hard to know exactly down to what you can put this, that the Eastern teams are struggling more versus some teams from West, right? Because I think a lot of people expected the Eastern teams to dominate that far, but I don't really know what down you can put it down to. It's just really hard to go down to the intricacies of it, because the Eastern teams haven't changed really much on their side of things, but it's just maybe the clash of metas making it hard for their meta to really develop and be successful in this kind of ecosystem. But yeah, I mean, the Eastern teams are having a little bit of a rougher time, and great for some other teams like Next Rare, they're just popping off right now.
The bottom line is, though, every single team here is like the best teams in the world, right? We talk about, you know, Fenerbahce towards the bottom of the table. They're still a top 16 team in the world. They're not bad whatsoever. They beat out so many great teams to be here. But the fact is, there still is some skill gaps between some of these teams and towards the very top. And obviously, when you look at Nova, it's really not a surprise considering the infrastructure we have within China with PELs and PECs. They play against the best teams consistently in the world, and that's why China's seen as such a dominant region. But if we look at, for instance, you know, the Arabic teams, if we have, you know, Enigma Galaxy, we see so many more PMPLs develop over the course of this year, given that infrastructure to regions who didn't have it before, that we've seen so much improvement out of these teams. Look at Damwon Gaming, like South Korea with Archer last year, didn't really make it that far, and they didn't make it to the finals. And we've seen them step up. We saw, you know, Bluebees then, Reject now, they had a massive step up, and we're seeing like this impact of having more PMPLs around the world, more opportunities for these teams to play, that we are seeing this catch up. I mean, would you have ever said 2 years ago we'd have 3 Turkish teams making it into PMGC Grand Finals? It was always just footballists.
Yeah, exactly. And then you had Class Visual Athletics, of course, that came in at some point. But it is true that right now there's a very big rise of the regions that was maybe overlooked for some big portion of the competitive scene for the past 2 to 3 years now. It's good to see them step up, but it's really weird to see the catch-up being that significant when you have teams, and one team that we wanted to potentially talk at the start of the show we didn't mention, right, is Team Secret in my eyes. They've been extremely silent, and currently when it comes to these international tournaments, it's potentially the team with 2 of the players with the most experience at this type of level, with iShots and Maptoy, and yet they're not performing to the level we initially expected. So the regions that were looked down upon in the past now are going for that trophy and they're aiming for that first spot.
7-0 haven't always looked up to those regions.
You guys are talking about regions that have improved. Let's talk about real quick about regions that didn't improve. There's some regions here, and I have to do it. There's some big regions that didn't even make it here to the grand finals. One that I can go off is because I usually talk about them a lot. North America. North America is nowhere to be seen here, and I know that's a big hurt to the community, and hopefully they'll be able to bounce back right next year. And then you have Indonesia.
Thank you.
Bigatron. I mean, we were talking about it on the first day. It feels so weird not having Indonesia in here. Bigatron. I mean, Luxy, Suxy, these are players that are just household names. And I was getting used to seeing that Indo pride in the chat and in the YouTube chat. It's nowhere to be seen. And I mean, some of the other regions have been able to take full advantage of it.
I mean, the fact is, when you look across, let's just say these last 3 years, the highest level, the global scale, right? We've seen so many new players and so many new teams come into light. And the fact is, and we saw this last year alone when we were doing PMPOs and stuff, is that there's so much depth in talent across the world that we just have now. That there's just so much talent in all of these regions, just by getting the opportunity to step up, the opportunity to rise up in the ranks and get that experience under their belt. And then, I mean, and the fact is, like in the Galaxy, we haven't had too many of those players play so consistently throughout the years. And we're seeing, I mean, even the Infinity as well, like they don't really date back that long back in the day. And then you look at Secret, as you're mentioning, with Mad Toy come in and Ice Shots. I mean, they're great players, but there is a world where potentially they would move to coaching roles because the new talent is just that good. Frozen, he's like 15 years old, man. He's out fragging Paraboy. Like, he's carrying his team on his back. I won't say that necessarily. I won't say it. But the fact is, like, there are these new blood people, these new blood talent that completely dominate all the old school players.
I have the impression we're in a transitionary period right now where you have some other regions and teams are stepping up. For example, if you talk about Indonesia, right, you were mentioning how BTI is weird, and I truly have to believe with it and then go in agreement with your assessment. It's weird BTI's not here, but exactly that's the point I wanted to make. Genesis Dogma showed that they can compete with the top. Sure, it didn't quite work out for them in the finals, but they could compete on that type of sphere. So I think that given next year, we might have a complete even differentiation in what team we have available now at that moment and next year. Except they're always going to come back at some point, but it is changing pretty rapidly at that, so teams need to stay on the get-go to change and adapt their playstyle to remain in this type of tournament.
A team that comes to mind, and I'm so sad that they weren't able to make it here, it's going to be Nice from North America. They had so much potential. They have a player, I got to give him a shout-out, Coops. He was absolutely stellar the whole time. It just happened that it didn't work out for them. Hopefully next year, I would love to see Coops here in the grand finals.
Well, we've got a year of time until then, but we don't have much time until we get into our next matchup today. So let's bring our commentators in to bring it for you at home. It is Necro and Mustache Dave.
What is up, J-Cap on the desk? We got Max here, we got Seven spitting nothing but hot fire here. 50% done, Necro, 50% done with this tournament. It is heating up, man.
Oh, indeed, it is heating up already in the overall rankings as well. I mean, no one's expected all to be on the top, staying as consistent as possible that we have next year. And Frozen, even the analyst definitely talking about this man, how this man is just able to outperform everyone in the lobby right now.
And running the numbers, I believe Frozen has around 40 to 50% of the team's damage and elim points. And talking about elim points, look at right there on that left-hand side. Look at those average points of Ergo. Nova Esports are dominating, 14.8, and the next Rhea right underneath them with 14. So with Ergo being 50% of the map pool, this is exactly where you want to be with average points.
Exactly, man. Nami as well, not really far behind on third place with 10.8 average points over here. Stalwart Esports kind of pushed all the way down. Now, we had a conversation about this yesterday, Dave, and you were saying, like, you know, Stalwart Esports, they have to be one of the most consistent teams on the map of Angle, but that doesn't really seem like the case today over here. Stalwart Esports, it seems like they're all the way down on 5th place, and they need to step things up for sure.
Talking about Stalwart Esports, Action said yesterday their biggest competitor is themselves. And they weren't lying either.
Is that true?
It is true. It is true. So with that being said, they are midway, you know, that mid-pack team. So I'm not too concerned. As long as you're in that mid-pack, tomorrow is another day, another 6 games to play. But they have 3 more games to play this evening. So there's definitely some room for them to shoot for the top echelons. That rock came out of nowhere. Came out of nowhere. And talking about Enigma Galaxy, I mean, yesterday they got a ton of pretty solid positions when we're talking compounds to that mid to late game. So placement point-wise, Enigma Galaxy, they have been slaying it in their own right, but elim points, kind of lacking in that department.
Yeah, definitely. They need to step up in elim points. Only 27 eliminations. It's kind of questionable, without a doubt. Yeah, then you have Navi right above them with 51. Navi pretty much have the most elim points currently in the game, and they're looking really good with that. And if you talk about Navi, they have to be one of those teams that, I mean, you're seeing huge improvement. If you compare them back to the league days, right, Dave?
Yeah.
How they played over there and now how they're playing the grand finals, it's like you're seeing a complete new Navi.
Honestly, I think it goes to the fact that A7 aren't really performing like a lot of people expected them to, right? A7 are usually that thorn in the side of Navi. We see them, especially in Arago, to that early to mid-game, always just next to them, picking them apart one by one. But since A7, Alpha 7, have been kind of lackluster here so far in this lobby, I think they lost some of that steam. And with that in mind, Navi had just picked it up, and they're taking full advantage of the fact that kind of their counterparts, right, from the West League aren't performing the best here. So Navi, I'm surprised. I mean, you and I, we were casting some of them games. Like, what are your thoughts on Navi and how they're popping off here?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm seeing a complete different Navi now. Before, in the league days, we saw Navi making those kind of late rotations, and those late rotations weren't really working out for them in the league days. And now over here, it's like you're seeing the proactive Navi. Navi, their presence of mind over here just seems like it's on next level right now. And if they just keep on playing the way they're playing right now, even the analyst Des mentioned, there's going to be no stopping Navi. They will have to be in the top two somewhere down the line. They're in top three right now. A little bit more, get consistent points that can help them get in top two, pretty much in top one as well. But this is how things really look like. A little bit of highlights from the previous match.
Yeah, talking about not stopping. Order. Oh, man. Hey, did you see that little order flex, by the way, we just saw a second ago? Like, bam, look at me. I'm here. I'm showing up. What, 8 elim points last game alone? Like, order is on fire. And ladies and gentlemen, talk about being on fire. Watch live and earn those rewards. The grand finals treasure box. Go unlock it inside the game.
Ooh. Why not, you know? Free stuff. Just go get it, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, if you talk about teams, how they're really kind of like the pressure, if you talk about that's building up on teams. As you mentioned, 50% is already done at the grand finals, and now the rest 50% is left. And day two, coming inside day two, I knew teams are going to be having nerves like rattling, right? They're going to be having the adrenaline just like pumping up. There's just going to be a complete nerve. It's just going to be a complete nerve-wrack. And this is what was expected without a doubt. Day two is one of the most important days. Day two is the day of comebacks as well. We were expecting some comebacks to happen. Yeah, Godlike, they got themselves in 12th place. Miramar game was pretty good for them. But just that one game isn't going to be enough, man. You need to perform a little bit more well in the upcoming games as well. Maybe this Wrangle game is going to be a little bit glimmer of hope.
Honestly, I'm kind of on the page of Godlike slow and steady, and that's exactly what they've been doing today, trying to catch their bearings in the lobby. Because remember, they kind of got thrown in here. You know, they played PGIS, they did pretty well over there, and then they got the invite to play in this lobby. So not a lot of time to really practice and prepare themselves mentally. They got the gun skills. Everybody knows. Godlike, they got the gun skills. The one thing I have been seeing them kind of have issues with here so far have been the scouting and just their timing with going for those scouts and losing a couple squad mates along the way. I remember, game one, just unfortunate that they ended up piling into a compound at the same time. Another squad piled into that same compound. So just a little timing. I think if they can kind of tighten that up here, they could continue to slowly climb up that leaderboard here today.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, that was Don1 Gaming as well, and it was a flawless squad from Don1 Gaming against Godlike. But yeah, as you mentioned, scouting definitely needs to be improved, and I'm pretty sure Godlike as well, somewhere down the line, they will realize the same thing, and they will try and adapt to how things are going to be looking like in the future. But another team, Stalwart Esports, we need to talk about them as well. It seems like in the day two, I mean, yeah, decent outing, but again, Stalwart Esports, this is not what we expected coming inside the grand finals. I at least expected Stalwart Esports to be in the top 5, you know, in day two.
You got action top, some of the best kind of tandem gunners in the game, in my opinion. You know, the teamwork, the synergy right there has just been on point every single time we get to tune in. And I know a couple people, they're watching these teams kind of slide down these overall rankings. I'm still with it. Like, if you're in that mid-pack, you are fine. Yes, you got Nova. Yes, you got Next Rio just dominating. And even Navi, they're dominating. We can see them at the top. 100 points, a little bit above that. But I think if you're in that mid-pack, you really set yourself up for success for tomorrow to really claim your spot on the overall leaderboard, because after tonight, I guarantee you, all these teams are going to go back, they're going to review the footage, review the VODs, and come up with solid game plans. And I'm bringing this up because part of one of these tactics that we've seen in multiple lobbies for these mid-pack teams is on the last day of a tournament, they kind of focus on, I don't want to say bullying, but taking advantage of these teams at the very bottom, right? You got Fenerbahce, you got Furious. So these mid-pack teams, they have the potential to set themselves up for success if they try to take these early game fights with those bottom pack teams, because they're not feeling the best here.
Yeah, they're indeed not feeling the best. Fenerbahce, even Seven Worlds mentioned this. They need to do something, man. They need to make a comeback happen. All the way on the bottom of the leaderboards with only 33 points in hands. Not looking that great. At this point, you might as well just count them out from, like, the top place. But, yeah, as you mentioned, the bottom teams can definitely be a really easy target in the final day. I wouldn't really say easy, surely, because if you want to take a 4-on-4 fight against even the bottom teams, there will be a couple of casualties even on your side. So you need to be ready for that all the time, unless if it's just like a flawless squad wipe and you just pull off some insane plays.
Yeah, these bottom teams, man, they're the ones that really need to be stressing. And now that we are kind of officially at the halfway mark, these next 3 games are crucial for these bottom teams to try to make sure not to end in the bottom after today, because I guarantee you, if you are a bottom team after today, you will 1,000% have that target painted on your back moving into tomorrow, especially because some teams at the top as well, not only the mid-pack, but they're going to have a lot of points to work with, so they could play a lot more riskier because they have such a large point lead that, hey, if you miss out on a team fight, it doesn't work your favor, you can afford it compared to these bottom squads. So really curious to see for Rivals, Team Secret, Furious, Fenerbahce. I'm really curious to see how they tighten up here in these next coming games.
Oh, man, they definitely need to tighten up no matter what. And for Rivals, spotting out rotation of Down 1 Gaming. Took a couple of shots, but it's fine. No connections being found yet. It seems like Nextray as well in the front lines. They need to be a little cautious of that team. Because for Rivals as well, they're hurting. They're hurt. They're all the way on 14th place as well. If you talk about one of those teams that really need these points, like no matter what, they really need these points. None of the games in the future, they can't just like let them go. They need each and every single consistent point as possible. And Fenerbahce seems like this time almost casualty on their side. And guess what? There will be. Logan spots a player out in the open, and he thought he might as well be behind the buggy. A little bit of miss spot there.
No, I don't even think that was, I think that was intentional. Blow up that buggy, because now you know there's an enemy out there behind the hay bale. They can't move. They can't go anywhere. They are stuck. They are in an open field with no vehicle to work with. So it's really up to Noxbomb and the Duke and Machine to open up this engagement here.
Oh, man, here we go. Fenerbahce. It was more kind of like Infinity trying to stop them while they were making a crucial rotation happen, and now Duke and Machine is the man in the clotheslines in the front, making sure no one's going to be overstepping their boundaries. Infinity slowly and steadily trying to get a little bit aggressive over here. Duke and Machine taking a little bit of damage with that nade, but he needs to play things a little safe because he's the only man in the front foot. If he gets taken out, that's going to be a huge problem for Fenerbahce.
Oh, that grenade getting blocked right there. Fenerbahce, I really truly believe that since they are at the bottom, that pressure is definitely getting to them. So let's see how they come out on top here if they can.
Oh, man. So you mentioned Fenerbahce as well, that added pressure on their backs, being all the way at the bottom of the leaderboards. That's not going to be good, but the nade from Infinity this time connects onto Duke and Machine. Big man falls down. Fenerbahce, they're going to be sweating after that.
Yeah, Noxbomb, full retreat mode right there. So I kind of wanted to touch on this one because we had Duke and Machine and Noxbomb in the front line, and then I noticed that the Duke and Machine was the aggressor pushed a little further, and Noxbomb popped into their buggy, looked as if they were trying to retreat, but then quickly turned back around because I believe the call was made to take the fight. So a little miscommunication right there, at least from what I can see coming on out from Fenerbahce.
Miscommunication. Nerves as well. It's kind of hard, man. Out here on the biggest stage possible. I do understand the panic might just set in, but sometimes you gotta hold your nerves with the guns, and Fenerbahce somewhere down line struggling to do so. But Enigma Galaxy realizing the Xavier in the front lines, but still taking things a little slow. As you mentioned, Enigma Galaxy, one of those teams that don't really go for fights themselves. Instead, they try to play things as safe as possible, and in the final zones, this is where they really start to just take teams down.
Dude, talk about the zone. Oh, man, we got a nice shift up there onto the mountain. Yeah, this is a Na'Vi game. It has to be. Looks like Na'Vi, they're going to pull back just a little bit to their drop spot near Hospital and kind of let the rest of the lobby deal with themselves because they're going to be clustering up on that east side of the new circle.
As you mentioned, Na'Vi playing this really beautifully. And they're playing this really brilliantly. Just going to be falling back a little bit.
I think Na'Vi might be setting up a bridge camp on A7. They know A7 are up there towards the north. A7, they have not moved into zone yet. So Na'Vi being proactive with this zone shift, that is amazing to see.
Exactly. This is what I even talked about. This Na'Vi in the Grand Finals, this is a proactive Na'Vi. This is way different what we saw back in the league days. And I also do like how they've set up Matic in the front lines just to make sure that the compound is being secured for Na'Vi for the future lines. If they do want to make the rotation back inside the zone, Matic is the man who has the compound held down to. But the problem is Nextria now might just be rushing against Matic. And we do see that on our maps. But yeah, we might just be able to see that soon. And on the other hand, I also do see the kill feed. Yeah, as you mentioned, Na'Vi, they're doing a great job making sure that A7 is being held off at bay.
Dude, Na'Vi, I mean, I'm talking about it because it's such a big brain play from Na'Vi, and I think those big brain plays, being proactive, is the reason why they are at the top right now. So I'm really impressed with that. A7, I believe, loses one, and quickly changing the game plan, not going to be using that Georgia Pool bridge anymore, going to be wrapping back around. Meanwhile, a lot of teams we see down here in the south, we saw Godlike, they were able to pop into those chopsticks and, you know, get a nice little spot for themselves down there in the south. But right now, a lot of teams still in vehicles, just scouting it out, searching for a compound to call home.
Oh, man. This definitely is going to be the case. And yeah, as you mentioned, a huge wave of vehicles was moving inside the zone as soon as the circle took a shift. Furious Gaming all the way on top of the Big Bear Mountain. Seems like the Xavier do want control of that as well. Furious Gaming not going to be happy after that for sure. So the Xavier and Furious Gaming might see a clash in the near-time future. Stalwart Esports over here, though. They have found a knockout on the player of Infinity. Confirmed shouldn't be that difficult. Easy confirm coming through, but Infinity has a little bit of high ground over Stalwart Esports, so they need to watch out. But no, there's a little split coming out from their side.
Yeah, and they also have this terrain to kind of work with and use their advantage to not expose themselves. And we see Logan trying to pull back just a little bit. Stalwart, though, 2-2 split, so very interesting. This is going to be here on the edge. The next circle is going to shift here very shortly. Popping over here to Xavier, though, another team that has definitely, for me, been underneath the radar. Hasn't really been popping off, but they have been getting those consistent placement points here so far, and they're doing quite well for themselves.
Oh, they are doing quite well. But look at the circle shift, Dave, and I can already tell it's going to be a huge wave of vehicles just moving inside from down south all the way up, and this is where a lot of teams are going to be caught off guard when they're trying to make the rotation happen. Might as well Noah be one of those. But Team Secret, they're trying their best to connect the shots, but it seems like no connections are being found yet. Bullets not landing. Team Secret going to be a little unhappy for that.
Nova Esports just zooming on by right there. And the game awareness king looking for some additional loot, getting some additional sight lines there in that back seat, scouting out with the 3-1 split here. And they do have two members of Na'Vi up there on high ground. I don't think Na'Vi are going to be concentrating on them quite yet because Matic, we saw right there, was knocked down. So, Nova, pretty solid position. This is like a little off-center to the north, too. They got a boulder, they got a small little dip to work with, recover if they need so. But look at this, though, on the mountain. Oh, the grenades, they're ringing out.
Oh, here we go. Finally, these two teams clash against each other. 4 rivals, though, instead. It seems like now it's 4 rivals who wants to go against Furious Gaming, and let's find out who's going to be the one to successfully take charge of this mountain. Because it's going to be a huge high ground. If you're able to successfully take control, that's going to mean quite a lot for any of these teams. Furious Gaming, though, they've already found an opening. Man goes down from the side of 4 rivals. That's going to be a little bit of sign of worry for them. They're going for the rest as well. I do like the play from their side, but the rest 2 players will need to make sure that they're providing as much as cover as possible.
Yeah, Poppy Procho trying to make sure to hold down that off angle too, so they can't wrap around and catch them off guard. So Poppy Procho's position is crucial to the defend right now from Furious. And Furious pulling back a little bit behind these boulders, making sure not to get taken out by a grenade.
Furious Gaming as well, playing things a little safe. Poppy Procho's position, I think, so has to be finally compromised. Action as well, I do see the kill feed somewhere down the line, taking a dig on Infinity. The fight still continues as Stalwart Esports. They're looking to take some players down for Infinity. Infinity out in the open. They don't have any of their shots. They're being shot at even from the front from Down One Gaming and from the back at Stalwart Esports. They're making it hurt.
Ooh, yeah. Getting a couple limp points right here. Going to be holding down the South, but pulling right back to this fight. Poppy Procho, look at that. Looking to make a play with the UMP, knocking down one. Now you have to expect the full collapse from Furious to happen right now. Let's see. AKM up close against Burst. Oh, no! Got him with the drop shot.
Oh, there we go. The Tracer there, though. So now it's a one-on-two situation, actually. Trigger's able to get screened back up on his feet. Trigger still knocked out in the front 4 rivals. Both these teams are going to be equally sweating at this point in time. Trigger knocked out. That's not going to be a good sign for Furious Gaming. 4 rivals able to get all their players up back on their feet. Poppy Procho all the way in the back. At this point, it's pretty much a gone case for Poppy Procho. So 4 rivals will need to try to pull off an insane clutch scream all the way in the back. Needs to realize he's also taking a lot of damage from the wall of death. He's trying his best to move inside, but he's been spotted and he's been held off outside the zone, and he gets taken out. 4 rivals just play this beautifully, but also a lot of damage being dealt onto themselves.
Wow. What, 2 HP right there? 2 HP. Now, Silence Pew, though, you heard the gunshots, you saw the kill feed, you can only assume the mayhem that unfolded right above your head, but could not push up there because they're back completely exposed to D. Xavier.
Oh, back exposed, and here we go. D. Xavier, now they need to take care of another team. Getting shot right in the back, Fenerbahce. Seems like that's going to be it for that team. And yes, next year able to clean him up, yeah, easily. And now A7 and D. Xavier. These two go against each other. H2G as well. Silas, we do see him on the high ground, but I feel like he should try to play things a little safe in the position.
Set a text up, MK14. Letting that thing rip. Gonna be cooking this grenade, prepping this grenade. Let's see, tossing it. Could be money. Could be money. A7, they did lose 1 squad mate in the rotation, so they're down to just 3.
Oh, they're down to just 3 at A7. As we mentioned, he's looking to connect that nade. Finally, D. Xavier being found.
Got him.
He's taking out the game. D. Xavier, though, still, they only got 1 point from this game. Not going to be a happy bunch after that, for sure. But yeah, action be taken out from the side of Stalwart Esports. They do have the little wrist to work with. But the circle shift is what's going to be hurting them. If they do want to make it inside the zone, Down One Gaming right in the front, they are going to rain down a couple of bullets. Just hoping that maybe a few will connect.
Look at that crate, too. What a big crate. You know for a fact that Don Juan Gaming, they're looking out their window. You can't get that. You can't get that. But that level 3 gear, oh, man, it has to be so juicy right here, especially late into the game. They do have 4 up. And I was actually talking to the team before today. They said that they want to play better and think faster. So I'm really curious to see what that means here. With 4 up, they do have the South. They got 2 little sneaky snakes trying to crawl up right behind them. Play better, think faster.
True. 2 snakes to Stalwart Esports. And then you have right next to them Team Secret as well, kind of spread out. I do like it's a 3-1 split coming out from the side of Team Secret. That's a good split, but again, if the circle moves away from them, that's going to be a little problem for Team Secret. Navi on the move. You realize finally the next zone might just be a little difficult to get in, Nova. spotting out the rotation of Navi. They try to take a couple of shots, and Navi at A7. Here we go again. This reminds me of League days.
Yeah, come on, King. Let the teams fight. But King out here trying to capitalize on their shack, trying to third party. Let Navi and A7 fight, man. They got a rivalry going back at least a year. But King putting in a lot of work, pretty much putting a stop to the Navi wraparound onto Alpha 7 that they had going on.
Oh man, kind of helping out A7 there unknowingly. Kixon now the only man left alive in the front. He's so low as well. Doesn't have the HP to support him. Dave. Navi. Tables have turned indeed. Kixon able to patch himself back up, but that's not going to be enough. Nova, they had great positioning, but they still need to make it inside the zone. So for them, even for them, things are going to be looking quite dicey in the future. But Navi being eliminated in 10th place.
Yeah, I'm looking at 4 rivals too. They need to make up their mind. Do they want to take out A7 beneath them or run downhill, reposition to the next zone that Team Secret are currently holding down out there on that east side? 4 rivals though, they did clutch it out a couple moments ago, but it looks like they might be losing that window of opportunity. As I say that, nice little spray down with the scar. Oh, come on. These are shots. These are points all day. You need to get these.
Oh, for sure. There we go. The Winkle Explosion's going to do it. 2 players knocked out. Rebel the only man left alive all the way to back. There's no King.
They trying to get that intel, cooking that grenade. Rebo just chilling on the back feet. Order said goodbye with that grenade. Order, once again, back-to-back games, dominating.
Oh, man, just like Thief of the Night, stealing those kills away. Noah. What's going on? They're just dominating, as you mentioned, and dominating as well. Now, finally decide to spread out a little bit, decide to step out of that compound because they do realize the chaos, or as you would like to say, a lot of teams around them have been cleared, and Team Secret, wow, that's a huge knockout.
The one-tap dirt nap. Peek me again. That's what they said. Peek me again. I'm really curious. What will Nova do? We see King kind of pushing forward. Health really low. Probably looking for a heal. Order playing that support role. And yes, we have that big boulder kind of blocking the 2 teams. Oh, boy! Dude, catching a grenade.
What? Noah. They're just so precise with those utilities as well. Not just gun skill, man. Even the utilities. They're just absolutely precise. And now Team Secret, left with 4 players to work with, including Dominant Gaming. Noah will have to be the one to play things a little safe inside this. They will have to let these 2 teams fight.
I think
this might be. If they play it well. If they play it well. Or I would say Nova can always go for a spawn sport over here.
They can, but Nova, they are down to just 2 now. Yes, King has been to cover all angles of this zone.
Down 1. And Team Secret's 4-4 situation for them too. And then you have Noah with only 2 players alive. It's going to be interesting how Noah plays this one out. I do want to see what they're doing on the map as well. Noah, they're slowly and steadily sneaking inside the zone. That's their main goal right now. King,
Jumper in that bush too.
Maybe this nade will just do it. Oh, there we go. Beautiful nades coming in from the side of Noah. And you got to compliment the team coordination as well. But the kill gets stolen by Jimmy.
Yeah, Damwon, they really need to take advantage of that right there and try to push up a little more. Take out Team Secret. This is their moment. But they need to watch out for Jumper in this bush right above this ledge.
Oh, the AWM, the big green cannon strikes, and it finds one. Shots taken out. Jumper in the front. As you mentioned, you need to watch out from Jumper, but here we go. Order and King, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to take care of the man in the front. But the problem is, Downward Gaming, they're not going to let him do so. But Wall of Death as well is doing so much damage onto the man of Team Secret.
I'm still really concerned with Jumper. I don't think they're aware of Jumper in that little bush right there, right ahead of them.
Oh, this gives me flashback. This gives me flashback, Dave, and you know what I'm talking about. And well, here we go. Jumper, he's just holding his trigger. The trigger discipline is insane, and he strikes, finds Fabian, but that's going to be enough. That's the only thing he gets out of that.
Oh, Order pushing out. UMP. Oh, Order. Nova turning the tides right now.
Oh, Noah, look at that. Even though they have the man advantage working against them. Man, never working against them, but they're still not pulling out. Instead, they're challenging the fight. They're standing tall, but finally Downward Gaming able to put the final nail in the coffin for Nova, and they get this chicken dinner. Look at their faces as well. They're so happy.
Look at that. Look at that. Congrats, winner, chicken dinner. GG, well played. Now they showed up mid-game. They got a really sweet spot, a nice compound, and they were able to defend that compound up until the late game when finally they did have to push out, and they used their numbers to their advantage. And I like how they didn't just all push in one area as a group. They decided to split 2-2, and they wrapped around both the east and the west side, trying to make sure to clear all those angles. And I think right there, that was the game-winning play for them.
Yeah, I do want to see where Downward Gaming has found themselves after that game. You know, like in the overall rankings, 25 points from that game. I do want to see what kind of position Downward Gaming has now.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, what an exciting game. Let's hear what the panel has to say about that match.
Well, before I want to talk about the match, I got to give props to the Godfather over there. Necro looking fancy as hell. The white jacket, the red tie, man, he is looking good, and I'm a little bit sad of how I look now.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's making me feel undressed. I want to wear my white jacket now.
I feel like I thought in my contract I have to be the best looking person on the show, and I mean, here on the desk, obviously, I am not, but...
You broke his contract, sue him.
No, I'm not going to quite sue him, not like some streamers. But looking into this game, though, Damn won. What a victory for them. Able to pull back the Damwon we got to see back in League Finals for East, but Nova as well coming so close to the very end for that back-to-back.
The execution at the end from Damwon was so good because they held that compound down the little cliffside. It was really strong to hold on to. Your main focus when you're in the mid game is you want to make sure no one can contest that position, which they did in really good fashion, got quite eliminations by doing so. But the moment you know that no teams are going to go for the backstab, you start pushing towards that hillside, you get the information without peeking with that third-person perspective. You get all the information you require, and then you strike when you have the opportunity.
Yeah, the advantage that they have, I mean, you mentioned it perfectly too. And right here with Nova, they were able to get 10 elims. And I mean, we talk about consistency, and this is the consistency we've been wanting to see as well. Nova continuing on that. And then Team Secret, this has been a team that we've all been wondering where they've been. Well, guess what? They were able to show up there with at least 18 points to themselves. And one that I know you're going to be really happy about here, Max. 4 rivals. They were able to get 8 elims. They were able to secure good placement points as well. And I think that was really good because we saw them take into some fights. It was still a little bit sloppy. I think the fight I'm mostly concentrating on was against Furious Gaming. They had Furious Gaming on their backs, but we'll talk about that later.
I really want to talk positively of 4 rivals, but they're making it really hard for me right now, 7.
MVP?
He's getting the MVP though. I can't argue with stats. No, 7 eliminations from Happy. That's great to see, but it's still the execution takes way too long. If they were able to come out of that fight with 4 players coming down from Everest, they could have had the best entry point in the circle, but unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be at the end.
Yep.
It seems to be the story for 4 rivals. It wasn't meant to be at the end, unfortunately.
I've said that many times.
I don't say that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, they're just not able to, like, close things out. I don't know what necessarily is going on, but one thing I can tell you that is going on currently at the top of the table is Nova now 29 points in the lead, looking to continue to build up momentum, to build up this lead against the other teams out there, as next we're going to be sitting in second place still. Same for Navi, same for Enigma Galaxy, but Damn won out of nowhere up to 5th place. And look at their eliminations. This is the funny thing, right? They're 3rd in the limbs overall. And I was saying before at the start of the day, seeing some of the players, like if you look at their average limbs, their average damage, they're actually really high up there, but they've been so quiet.
And something that I loved in that last match, and this is something that I mentioned at the beginning of day 1, is that Junie, he was a player that was able to transfer a lot of not that much damage into actual elims. And I saw in that last match, he was actually being able to steal some of those elims, which is huge for them because any elim, any point